Have you ever come across a food that seems to defy everything you know about taste, texture, and even smell? A food that's so unique it makes people either rave about its incredible benefits or avoid it like the plague. This is a food with roots that go back centuries in Japanese culture. A food that's packed with surprising health benefits, yet has a reputation that even some Japanese people can't quite get past. It's sticky, it's slimy, and it's one of Japan's most controversial superfoods. Join me today as we dive into a fascinating journey to uncover what makes natto so unique, its health benefits, and of course, what exactly causes that unforgettable stickiness. Natto, for those unfamiliar with it, is a traditional Japanese dish made from fermented soybeans. It's not just any ordinary fermented food. Its reputation in Japan is rooted in centuries of history, tradition, and even legend. Some records trace it back as far as the Nara period, which was over 1,000 years ago. As legend has it, natto was first discovered by accident when cooked soybeans were packed in straw for storage. The natural bacteria in the straw fermented the soybeans, and when people later opened the straw, they discovered a sticky, gooey substance clinging to the beans. Surprisingly, they found the fermented beans not only edible, but also full of unique flavors and textures. Natto's association with health and longevity is especially strong in Japan, and this reputation grew over time. Today, natto remains an everyday staple in Japanese households, with people commonly eating it as part of breakfast, often mixed with rice, mustard, soy sauce, and green onions. At its core, natto is simply boiled soybeans that have undergone fermentation, but it's the type of fermentation that makes natto so distinct. The key player here is a specific strain of bacteria called Bacillus subtilis, which interacts with the soybeans and transforms them during the fermentation process. This bacterial fermentation gives natto its signature texture, flavor, and smell. The texture is one of natto's defining features, a sticky, slimy, almost stringy goo that clings to each bean. This is something you don't typically see with other fermented foods like yogurt or kimchi, making natto truly one of a kind. The smell is another notable aspect, often described as pungent, earthy, or even slightly cheesy. And the taste? It's complex, a bit nutty, a bit bitter, with savory notes that are truly unique. Now, let's dig into the burning question. What makes natto so sticky and slimy? The answer lies in the fermentation process and the role of the Bacillus subtilis bacteria. When Bacillus subtilis ferments the soybeans, it breaks down proteins in the beans and produces long chains of molecules called polymers. These polymers are what give natto its sticky, stringy texture. In particular, natto is rich in a protein called polypeptide and a carbohydrate called polyglutamic acid. Together, they create that iconic gooey, sticky texture. When you stir natto, you may notice that it becomes even slimier and produces long strings as you lift it with chopsticks. This is because stirring releases even more polyglutamic acid, intensifying the stickiness. The more you stir, the more strings you create, and the slimier it feels. Some people even enjoy giving their natto an extra stir before eating to maximize the goo factor. Natto is often considered a superfood thanks to its impressive nutritional profile and health benefits. First, natto is packed with protein, making it a fantastic source of plant-based nutrition. It's also loaded with vitamins and minerals, including calcium, iron, potassium, and magnesium. One of its standout nutrients is vitamin K2, which is relatively rare in other foods. Vitamin K2 plays a crucial role in bone health, helping with calcium absorption and improving bone density. Some studies even suggest that natto could help reduce the risk of osteoporosis, a condition that weakens bones. Natto is also rich in probiotics, the good bacteria that benefit gut health. Like yogurt, kimchi, and other fermented foods, natto supports a healthy gut microbiome, which is increasingly recognized as essential for overall health. Another significant health benefit is nattō's impact on heart health. It contains an enzyme called nattokinase, which may help dissolve blood clots and improve blood flow. Some studies suggest that nattokinase could even help reduce blood pressure, potentially lowering the risk of heart disease and stroke. For as many people who love nattō, there are just as many who find it, well, hard to stomach. The main reasons come down to nattō's three defining features: its stickiness, its smell, and its taste. First, the smell is often described as pungent or cheesy, which can be a surprise for those who expect a more neutral aroma. For some people, it's reminiscent of certain aged cheeses, while for others, it can be off-putting. Then there's the texture. Many people are simply not used to sticky, slimy foods, especially in cultures where texture is generally smooth or crisp. And finally, the taste. Nattō's flavor profile is complex, with earthy, nutty, and somewhat bitter notes. It's not sweet or mild, so for those trying nattō for the first time, the taste can be unexpected. But like many acquired tastes, once people become accustomed to it, they often find themselves craving nattō's unique combination of flavors and textures. If you're interested in trying nattō, there are a few ways to make the experience enjoyable, even if it's your first time. The simplest way to eat nattō is to mix it with soy sauce and mustard and serve it over a bowl of steamed rice. Adding green onions or a bit of wasabi can also complement its flavor. In Japan, nattō is often served for breakfast, sometimes with a raw egg mixed in. If that sounds too adventurous, you can add nattō to other dishes, like miso soup, sushi rolls, or even a salad. Mixing nattō with other ingredients can help balance the flavors and tone down the texture, making it easier for newcomers to enjoy. Nattō is more than just a quirky food. It's a part of Japanese heritage, an incredible source of nutrition, and a powerhouse of health benefits. Despite its strong aroma, unique texture, and unusual taste, nattō has stood the test of time, with people enjoying it for both its flavor and its impact on health. If you can get past the initial shock, you might just discover a new favorite that's as delicious as it is beneficial. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of nattō. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more unusual foods like this one.